Dale and Jen, and we're going to be talking about the Great Auction?
The Great FME Auction of 2018.
Yes. Okay.
We had all this stuff in our office that we wanted to distribute out to staff primarily in the most fair and equitable and perhaps random way that we possibly could. One thing that was kind of funny is I know some people had brought personal items into their office and were quite surprised to see stickers on them and that they were part of the auction. Yeah, I know that one person had a lamp. He goes, wait, this is my lamp. The idea of an auction goes back to where Don and I used to work at McDonald Detweiler years and years ago. They would once in a while hold an auction to get rid of old equipment, and the staff would all take part in that. And so we always have had that tradition here of the auction. There's been many, many auctions of pieces of things that has been part of our DNA. And we've always, what we added to it was that we always wanted the proceeds to go to some charity locally. There's lots of needs in our community, and so we've given to different things to support those not as fortunate as us. So there's something called Night Shift that we've given to that helps get people off the street, and the FRACA, I think the Fraser Aboriginal Youth Society that's just down the road here, that's been one of the targets. But over the years, many times we've also gone to have the money go to, well, the food bank actually, another one. But this time around we went to Surrey Homelessness and Housing, which exists to create affordable housing to get people into something and off the street. And so that's been, we think, a very well-run organization. And so that's been one that we've done several years now around this time of year to support. Now this will be one of our biggest fundraisings for that. 800 items were up for sale. So I walked down the hall to Jen and said, I have a great challenge for you, Jen. Can we somehow use FME Server to create an auction system in the next roughly hour?
Yeah. Well, it was more like a week, luckily. I would not have built that in an hour.
Right.
But, yes.
So then Jen went away to figure out, first of all, how can we catch when somebody fills in a Google form, because we didn't want to write a new front end thing. So we're going to use Google Forms as our entry. And so how can you catch when somebody types a bid in to record it properly? And so
that was the tough part, because we have a Google Sheets reader. So originally I was like, we could just keep reading it, but then you'd have to set it up on a schedule and maybe read it like every 30 seconds. And then if people have bid on that same item within that 30 seconds, potentially you have to start building loads of logic around it, and that was going to be slow. So then I probably spent a day actually just trying to work out how to do this part, but like Google lets you write scripts that as soon as you fill in the form and it adds a row to that spreadsheet, it will send a notification out like a post message. So you could use that to post to FME Server, and it would be instant then, which was good. So then as soon as someone has filled in that form, FME Server knows about it and then can go and look at that form or take that. It sends a JSON message to FME Server, and it will take that and work out if they are the highest bidder, and then can send them an email to see like, yeah, you're the highest bidder, or no, you're not, the highest bid is X. So I just reused those scripts. So whenever someone could go and request either their bid history, which would be everything they've ever bid on, or just what they're winning right now.
Yes.
So then that would send them back a nice email that would tell you like these things you're winning right now, and then it would have underneath a list of everything.
And so one of the items we had for sale was a van, and people were bidding in dollar. I'm kind of exaggerating here, but there were lots of big items going at $1 each bid. Then the first request was, let's make them bid at least in round dollars.
Yeah. So you originally set the form up for me, and that was basically any number greater than 0, I think was the original one. So then because people started bidding these decimal points, I changed the form because it was the quickest way to stop people doing this, to say it would only allow whole numbers. But you can only have one rule on a Google form at once. So like, I knew at that point people could bid minus numbers, but I was thinking, you know what, like Safe has good people here.
We're not going to pay people to take stuff.
Yeah, but then like about a week later, people started bidding minus numbers.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the end, I had to start adding that logic into the workspaces.
And so that it was going to end at noon, actually a week ago right now, probably.
Yes.
Noon last Friday.
Yeah, there were a lot more people down here.
And actually we had the big screen with the activity logs scrolling by, and everybody sitting there with their sniping ready to go. And And what was happening for you, Jen, as you were sitting right in the middle of it?
Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to bid on a bunch of stuff. So I was trying to bid on things as well as keeping an eye on things. So you're trying to watch Slack at the same time, like trying to keep an eye out for your lot numbers that are going by, as well as trying to bid. And I'm trying to like not panic because I'm not sure it's actually going to stop at 12.
Yes. Oh, because that was in the logic, huh?
Yes. Yeah, because we needed it to cut off at, I think it was like 12:00:01. Anything at that time or after wouldn't get counted.
Were you using the date time functionality in FME for this?
I was.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Anyway, a
Yeah.
good learning overall. FME came
It
through.
survived. Yeah.
Came through. We learned some stuff. We
Yeah.
distributed all these things to staff in a
Yeah.
somewhat fair and random way, and made some money for Surrey Homelessness and Housing.
Yeah.
How much did the van end up going for?
20.
I want to
it
say
was
close to
25.
3,000.
That's what I think.
Close to 3,000.
Yeah.
But that was a hot item. Like people were bidding on that a lot.
Yeah, in
Throughout.
increments of more than $1.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think in total, when the auction finished, I added up everyone's bids.
Yeah.
It was around $13,000.
$13,000. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.